She's a WordPress engineer at XWP, a freelance WordPress engineer at Toptal, WordPress documentation team representative, plugin reviewer, and documentation focus lead for WordPress 5.8 and co-lead for multiple WordPress release cycles. She helped organize some of the largest WordPress conferences focusing on contributor days. Being a single mom in Serbia, she developed the superpower of fighting the odds, easily bribed with dark chocolate and a nice piece of bacon. Mm-hmm. Please welcome our last speaker of the day, Milana Cap.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you to organizers for doing this independent event. So far, it's been amazing so far. So let's see if I can keep it up. How many of you know about HTML API? Cool. How many of you have been using it in production? Okay. Less. How many of you know that this API is powering Interactivity API? Oh, cool. Okay. So when we talk about new features in software, in my mind, that's a discussion about documentation, but that's a different talk. In my mind, new feature in software means some problem being solved. In WordPress, that's not always the case, but the latest releases started bringing small portions of problem solvers, and some of those portions are so small that their significance in a bigger picture can easily go unnoticed. And my intention today is to make sure you notice them because they might solve some of your problems. Speaking of which, back in March 2023, I was on a project that had very annoying problem. And the task was to remove nofollow attributes from all internal links. Now, the first question is, why do internal links even have nofollow attribute, right? Funny story. So this client was an enterprise client in a publishing industry. The project was huge. They had around 10 new articles every day for years. And over the years, they had many different authors and somewhat loose control of linking in editorial process. So several different variants of internal links were found. Let me see. Yeah. All of these were found, and only one of these, as you know, can be in settings for home URL, right? So this is only the first part of the problem, to have all these variants. The second part of the problem is there is a plugin that adds nofollow attribute to every single link that doesn't match the string home URL in settings. So we ended up with a lot of internal links not to be followed. And as I said, the task was to filter all the content, find, that was built for years, to find all internal links and remove the nofollow attribute. And when we think about filtering large amount of content and searching for a specific pattern, the first thing that comes to mind is regex. Now, this is something not many people know, but regex is invented by extraterrestrials to make fun of humans and be used by AI. And we thought we don't need that kind of negativity, so we did something completely different, and I'm going to show you what. So here I have kind of a simplified replica of our problem. What you see here is just hello world post with a little bit of bacon ipsum, because bacon. These links here above, these 4 links, are all internal links. You just see different variants of them. And this one that is not highlighted is the one that is set as home URL in settings. And these 3 below are the actual external links not to be followed. Now they are highlighted because I added, let me show you. In the theme, I added this. So what we are going to do, so this is just the CSS. I added no follow links manually. What we are going to do, we are going to create a plugin and solve the problem. So we are going to remove no follow attribute from these links here that are highlighted. Now, the only way I know to create a plugin is with WP CLI. And this, right now that I have this environment, is WPN. So it's using Docker. So when you want to run WP CLI inside Docker, it's so annoying. So this is what you have to do. WP and run CLI, and then you tell it which CLI. So you say WP, and then let's just do the simple command plugin list, for example, and it's thinking. Okay. Oh, something happened. Okay, let's hope. Oh, let's hope this is gonna work. So this is live coding, gentlemen and ladies. Okay, so what I don't like to do is I don't like to to type WPN run CLI every time I want to run commands. So what I do is I just create a temporary alias. Okay, so this is new laptop and new layout, and I might be making some mistakes. So what I'm doing here, I'm just replacing WP with WPN run CLI WP. So now I can actually run the WP, and we are going to get the same error, I believe. Oh, no. Okay. So why temporary? You can make it permanent alias, but if you're using different environments, you might actually want to have WP meaning WP. But if you are just using this, you can make it, permanent. I'm making it temporary. It's only in this session. I will do it again. Okay. So another thing that is very much bothering me with Docker, so we are just going around. I'm giving you, information you didn't come for, but I'm giving it to you anyway. Another thing that I don't like about WP CLI inside of Docker is that help is not working here. So to get to the help, you actually have to what I like to do is use help a lot. So I would do this, WP plugin help, but what you get is help for WP env. So to get the help for WP CLI, what you have to do is go inside WPN, run CLI, and now we are going to do bash. And we are going inside of the container. We are not going inside of the container. We are getting error, but you can get it there. Okay, so let's see if we can create the actual plugin. Scaffold plugin. Oh, this is going to be error because I forgot the best prompt. The best global parameter in the world is prompt, and it will prompt you with all parameters, but now I'm afraid it's not gonna do that. We will probably get error or not. Yeah, we will get the error. Okay, so let's do this manually. Oh, Jesus. All right. I've never done this new file. And let's say it's going to be, how we're going to call it? WP Jams. I'm so sorry you didn't see the magic. And luckily I have this here. So I'm just going to copy paste. This is my way of developing. This is how I became developer. Copy pasting, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we're gonna change this to WP Gems, and this is going to be WP Suomi. Not that it's important, but it is. I'm gonna remove this as well. Okay, so now we have a plugin. Let's see if it's seeing it, if we can maybe activate it with WP CLI from here. Okay, whatever, dude. Yeah, I can do it this way as well. It's been, I think, a decade since I last time activated plugin from dashboard. WP admin. Okay, it's here. Thank you. See, I can do it that way as well. So, what are we going to do now? Let me bring you back to our story. This is the problem. So we need to solve this problem. And I'm not going to care about anything here. So I'm just going to care about the content. And we are going to use the content filter, just for the sake of the experiment. So let's add filter. The content. And if you're not using namespaces, always prefix your functions. WP gems, remove internal, I don't know. We can do no follow, right? No follow. Cool. And now we can define our callback. We are gonna pass the string. And we are gonna return the string. For now, let's just return the content. Okay, this is how it looks like. Now we're gonna go to the solution. This solution is HTML tag processor. It's a class in new HTML API. And with this class, you can modify attributes in HTML document for tags matching a query. So the tag here is HTML tag, HTML element. And what we are going to do is create new instance. You pass the string, and then you look for a tag that you need to find. We are going to look for anchors. Then we are going to filter all the internal links, and we are going to modify the attribute. So let's start with copy pasting. Go here, and we're going to pass the content. After that, this first example, it looks for option, and when it finds the option, it's doing something. So this is not what we are looking for. We are looking for the loop, because we want to go through the whole content. And here it is, while loop. So we don't care about this, but it's interesting thing to see. You can actually define after which paragraph you want something to do, or when you are adding some advertisements or whatever. This is what you can use. So what we want here is this method, while next tag. Next tag method is going to return Boolean. As long as it finds any kind of HTML in the string, it will just keep looping. And after that, what we need is this tag that we are looking for is anchor. And I love that all these examples have everything we need. Now, the get tag is going to return the string, and it's a name of the tag in uppercase. First, I thought it was because they wanted to know if you really, really want this tag, so you make it uppercase, but that's not the reason. I asked author, and he said it's because browser doesn't care if it's uppercase or lowercase, but the standards is uppercase, so they chose the uppercase. And it turned out to be a good decision, because when you have a lot of these in file, you can actually see them very easily when it's uppercase. So now that we found all anchors, we are looking for internal links, and internal links are differentiated from external by URL, right? So we are looking for href attribute where URL lives. And in this magnificent example, you have that as well. So let me just put the space. So here we are looking for href. Once we found this href, we want to make sure that this is local, right? So I'm going to simplify here. This is not for production code, but I'm going to say if string contains, please don't use this in production. So the string that we are looking for, that we are searching is href. And the thing that we are searching is our domain, right? So this is very bad example. Please don't use this. This is just to show you what is the intent. Intent is to match domain name inside of href. There are more secure ways to do it. This is not covering edge cases. But the thing is, you remember we had many different variants. So this is something that we in our project fixed here before even instantiating HTML tag processor. So it's not important for this example of ours. What is important is that at this moment here, we had one unified string that represented all the variants. So now, if this string contains this at the right place, then this is internal link. And what we are going to do now is we want to modify attribute that is in this anchor. And you can do different things. You can modify it. You can set attribute, as you can see here. But what I'm going to do is just remove it. I don't care right now. Okay. So we are going to remove the rel attribute. And the last thing we need to do is we need to return this filtered content. So let's just admire this documentation while we go there. Look at this. Isn't this amazing? Is it something you expected from WordPress? Oh, that laugh. It's in my heart. So this is the one. You see the only visited link? It's the one that we need. This method will return modified HTML. So here, tags. Okay, now let's see what we have done. What we expect to happen now is when I refresh, these 4 links should all be like this one, and these 3 should remain highlighted. So I'm gonna reload. Ta-da! It's magic. One thing I still don't like is this hard-coded, so it's working only on my machine. What we want to make here is to make it work on every machine. So home, URL host. Now we know with WordPress that home URL can be taken with the parse, with the get home URL. So we are going to parse URL here. The first parameter is going to be get home URL. And the second parameter is component. What we are looking for is PHP URL host. Okay, and now we replace this with this. And when we reload, it should remain the same. Yay! So this example now works on every machine. This example, when you take a look at it 6 months from now, you know exactly what each line of code is doing. While if you use regex, you don't even know today what you've done, right? And this thing is actually covering all edge cases, except this one, but this is not HTML API, right? So please, this one should be done differently. But the HTML part of this is HTML API part of this is covering all edge cases. And let's see what exactly is this HTML API. So as an idea, it was created to modify attributes in blocks, in Gutenberg blocks. But as you saw, it's completely Gutenberg agnostic. If you pass a string to it, and if it finds any kind of HTML, it will process it. And when I say any kind of HTML, I really mean any kind of HTML. So you might not know this, but browser has this amazing ability to convert what we would consider as bad markup into valid HTML. All of this is valid HTML, and I know that because I copy-pasted this from Dennis' slides. Dennis Snell is author of HTML API, and this photo was taken before he started working. You see that, you know, this smile and sheer unawareness of what HTML API is going to be. He started from scratch. He didn't use any library, anything. This is something only we have in WordPress. There is no other CMS or a PHP framework that has this. But because Dennis is a very nice guy, he's making a patch for PHP so everybody could have it. And I can tell you, PHP community is crazy about this stuff. I've been speaking to them about this, and they were like, I want this. So Dennis started with the HTML standards. And that means that this parser is never surprised by any HTML it receives, but it will actually support and process any HTML, probably the HTML we will never see in our lives. So this is the tag processor you saw today, but there is a family. There is HTML processor, which is a bigger sibling of tag processor. And what it does, it's better for querying nested structures. So unlike tag processor is looking for a tag and attributes inside of it. HTML processor doesn't care about that. HTML processor is caring about the whole tag. It knows about the closing tag. So basically, it's searching for tokens. Opening tag and closing tag is token. HTML processor can insert and remove nodes. It can read inner content and modify it. It can navigate up and around the structures. So remember, the time when you loaded your jQuery to change the class or wrap something? This is what you can do now, PHP. You can use PHP for all that makeup that you don't really need to load JavaScript for. And HTML processor is still not production ready. We are expecting it to be with new WordPress release, which will be 2nd December, 6.9. So far, it's just a playground and mostly in GitHub gists. But tag processor is ready. We were using it in production in 2023. We actually waited a couple of weeks so that release goes out, and we updated WordPress. Like, you never do that for, enterprise clients to update WordPress right away. We did that just to have HTML API inside of it. So processor is ready for production, but what about performance? When we do stuff on the fly, when we parse the whole pages and do stuff to them, performance is a valid question. So WordPress has a very serious performance team. They did a lot of good things since 5.9. And they did extensive testing of tag processor. And what they found out is that prag match is faster and always will be. Oh, I'm sorry. 5 minutes. Okay. Soon I'm done. So prag match is faster and always will be. But the thing is, prag match is unreliable. It's prone to breaking markup and, doing stuff you don't expect. So WordPress core didn't have that much of prag match. It had prag split. And prag split, even though it's a little bit more reliable than prag match, it's much slower and still not reliable 100%. So when these places in core were replaced with HTML API, we actually made WordPress faster. So that's a good news. And here you can find, you will find my slides somewhere. I will show you where. These two, serialization builder and HTML search, are still in GitHub gists. So I am lucky enough to be a good friend with Dennis, and he keeps sending me new stuff in DMs. So I'm like, oh, I can play with this. I can tell about this. And you can actually play with this. I have in this repository, you might remember those two plugins that I already had in installation. Those are made. So these two classes are those two plugins, so you can play with them. They're so buggy right now. It's so fun, to get all those stuff that you wouldn't expect and you shouldn't expect. But you can play with them right now. So this is the repository where you can go to see all those things. I have it open here. So here we have the all the reference that I used, all the methods and everything. Here you have links to those gists, and you have examples here. So what else can you use HTML tag processor for? Imagine putting it in your tests and checking if you have all accessibility attributes. You can actually make your applications completely accessible and forcing that on developers just by putting it in tests. You can add and remove classes, so bye-bye jQuery. You can set aspect ratio for iframes, that's a huge one. You can test anything. You can add sizes, you can add attributes, and it's very fast, and it's always going to work the way you expect it. And if you want to learn more, I learned a lot about tag processor just by reading tests for tag processor. So you can learn about new feature just by, you know, reading tests for it, so you know what to expect, how to use it, how not to use it. And here are other links, like if you're bored, you're having a bad day, go to HTML standards. It's going to be better right away. You can see the roadmap and what's planned, and you can read the introductory of this API, which has more details than I show you here. And this is all I have. You know, watch for next releases because it might have a gem for you. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a photo from last year WordCamp Europe after party. Marco and I got Vladimir drunk and made him organize this conference. So this is the image from that. My name is Milana Cap. I'm WordPress engineer at XWP and TopTal, the loudest member of the documentation team and member of others teams. Me being here, preparing talks and traveling is made possible by Kinsta. They're paying me for this, so thank you, Kinsta, for this wonderful life. XWP and Progress Planner are paying for my time in WordPress project for documentation and plugin review. I hope you learned something new. I hope you had a good time. You can find me on these places and you know, talk about anything. I'm a classical musician as well, if you want to talk about that. This feedback form is anonymous if you want it to be. It's going directly to my inbox. So if I offended you, if I said something stupid or wrong, please write to me. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Milana. I was looking at the questions that came in, and there was one question, and then I realized that this place has ended the Wi-Fi, so no more Wi-Fi today.
Oh, okay.
So, but luckily I still have internet on this thing, and there are actually two questions from the audience. So perfect. But the first one is from me actually. I was wondering about your bio. Talked about dark chocolate. Is Serbia a chocolate country? Do you have good chocolates there?
We don't think so, but we are. You know, I've been traveling and tasting different chocolates, and we are. Serbian chocolate is good.
Cool. Good to know. Question from the audience. How performant is the HTML API? Is it viable to run when displaying items in production, or should I typically hook into save hooks, etc., prior to database entry?
Well, you know, it's always better to have it fixed. So the way I see HTML API is just fixing things that you cannot get hands on. The proper way for solving our problem was to go to database and just fix that thing. So not using HTML API. But sometimes you cannot do that. So this client didn't want us to touch database. So that's why we did it. But sometimes you are working with someone else's plugin and you want to fix that markup. So you cannot edit that. The way I see this, HTML API should be used as a fix when you cannot do it directly. You know, I mean, the logic, pure logic says if it's done properly, then you don't need to do something. If you need to do something as fast as it can be, still it's doing something. So it's always better not to have it do something. So that's my opinion. But you can test it, you can try and see on bigger. I know that Dennis is doing regular tests on some huge websites, and you can ask him. He's in WordPress.org Slack, or you can find him somewhere else if you don't want to go there. You can ask him about performance. He will give you, all the stats and everything. He's a great guy. So you can ask him about that.
Perfect. Great answer. And one more comment. This is not a question, but from the audience. Not a question, but I just wanted to thank you for solving a problem I am and was facing in an ongoing customer project. So thanks.
You're welcome.
With that, I want to thank you very much, Milana Cap.
Thank you. Thank you.